class, I decided we were going to try to avoid mass shifting, as we call it in the fandom.
Hey guys. Hey, how you guys doing? Welcome back to Greenlight. So, yeah, I'm watching some stuff from Transformers. I like Michael Bay. Michael Bay doesn't bother me all that much. He's very commercial. Just accept it already. So I'm not even going to talk too much about that here. I'm going to end up talking a little bit about it, that DVD anyways, that DVD episode. So I'm going to try and continue my King Kong episode though, and use the battery and try to see how far I can get. It's still kind of charging. It's in the orange. It's supposed to turn green soon. Let's see. Let's give it a shot. Because I want to get into the lavalier mic stuff. This has been pretty good for me, this channel. Get these urges wanting to talk about something that I thought about, an idea or something that I've been working on in my head, or like right now I'm talking about miniatures. So that's an idea I'm having for my my third feature film. It'd be my second fiction film. Let's do that. Let's bring it up. Yeah. So I'm not bending down so much. I'm kind of tall, I guess. I need you guys to be able to see my eyes. It's the major thing in film is that you got to see my eyes, because if you can't see my eyes, then what are you looking at? Really, you're just looking at me as a person, looking at the space and things like that. But there's not a lot of things going on here. So this is more interactive in this way. So maybe you learn from that as well. But these episodes help me out a whole lot. Mainly because I don't get the chance to talk about film like that all that often, especially like techniques and things like that. So me speaking to quote unquote myself in some way for right now. Over time, when this audience builds and I'm able to talk to an actual audience and everything like that and get some feedback, I'll know where I'm at and everything like that, and it'll obviously come back around for me. But right now I'm quote unquote talking to myself, but it helps me kind of work things out in my head, just kind of speaking it out loud. Recording it too is a great way. It's just like writing it down or something like that. My dad always used to tell me, like, you remember things best when you go and you sit down and you write it down. You write it on paper, which is true. I mean, I do the same thing still here. Added just a couple more things over here. Just the title, really. But with the title, I kind of know where I'm going at. In a way, it's just the title of this episode. So I write little notes and things I want to talk about and stuff like that. And since I ramble on, there's a lot in here. I can just get it out with little bullet points and in so many ways. You understand what that is. So in film, you don't really use bullet points in that way. Depending on your pre-production and how long of a pre-production you have. Obviously, it depends on the project too. All the research you may have to do if it's a history tech thing. Cop things too. If it's a detective show, even those types of shows go into some real big depths now. Now with these 45-minute to an hour episodes of these dramas like HBO and stuff like that you see a lot on Netflix. So, and Netflix shoots their whole thing in a big batch too. ironically in what I'm doing as well. A lot of people on YouTube do this batch filming a lot. There's a guy that I watch sometimes. His name is Sean Cannell, and of Think Media. So, damn, I'll put this to charge just a little bit longer, since I got some stuff to explain here. So yeah, okay, so I'm still alive here. So all right, so yeah, I watch Think Media, and like Think Media, I watch him. I watch them a lot. His name is Sean Cannell, so it's just him. And then I also watch Video Influencers, which also has his partner on there as well. So so Sean and video influencers, they talk about marketing and how to use YouTube for marketing purposes and everything like that to help you come up on YouTube in a way. So I've done YouTube before. I've mentioned this before on other videos. It's if you go to youtube.com/GIOJOV, GIOJOV, then you'll see where I'm coming from. It's got about like 2 or so million views right now. And it's just on like stuff I've edited and fan stuff that I edited that really brought that up. My grandfather's short documentaries on there, which is like, I think it's 12 minutes or something like that, or 11 minutes. 11-minute documentary I did for school, which is kind of interesting because it's kind of the first wave of my second feature film. So with talking about Think Media, I had a nice little interaction with a YouTuber on here that just became friends with Think Media with Sean, actually, Nolan Malt. And I've been watching his stuff for a while too. I know he's out here in Los Angeles. Interesting guy, and like he taught me something really good about when you're doing jobs and stuff like that, and you don't have certain equipment that you need to overcharge for the rental price, because at the same time you're taking a risk because you're renting it and you're going to end up paying for whatever damages are anyway. So might as well, if you're going to give them a markup, give them a markup that is the same price or equivalent to, or just a little bit more to what the insurance costs on that camera. If it breaks, if the actor's running around with that GoPro and the case around it, breaks open and the camera flies out, and there goes that little lens and that camera body, if it's all screwed up, So that kind of stuff is some of the details that you got to think about when it comes to that. But I love how his channel, like, he's trying to flip it and turn it into a filmmaking channel, and that's great. I'm starting from total zero. I don't have the amount of subscribership on the other channel like he does on his. So on my other channel, I may have 2 million or so views, but it's 400 subscribers. It's all over the place. It's got some music videos of mine and just work that I've done, in there. So it's just kind of like all over the place. It's just my channel with everything I've done in there. So check it out if you like it. When all this is over, this live, and I get finished filming all this, maybe tomorrow I will have like links and things pop up. So most likely on Monday. So Monday you'll see all the links pop up and everything like that going, and you could go into that other YouTube channel of mine and check that out. And yeah, I'm also kind of doing like a slight shout out to Nolan Malt. He said some nice things to me on a comment on one of his videos. So thank you for even interacting with me. You know, that's one of the things on here that I'm really looking forward to is interaction with other filmmakers and people that are just like me in a way. I mean, I listen to a lot of hip hop, so I would love to see what filmmakers out there listen to hip hop. I know Alex Ferrari does. He's on YouTube as well, but he is most notably like famous for Indie Film Hustle on iTunes podcast, which is basically the #1 filmmaking podcast on iTunes. So check that out as well. Give him a shout out. He's very nice to me too. I talk to him a lot. So he's really a guy I've been talking to a lot and just kind of learning a lot about the indie side of things when it comes to filmmaking and what's going on right now, because what's going on right now is totally different than what it was in the 90s. And the 90s has changed everything too, with people like Kevin Smith, Quentin Tarantino, and Robert Rodriguez. So I'm not even going to get into all that. Let's, hopefully try and get into an episode. Yes, it's green. Let's do it. Some good coffee. So let's get this episode in. Ooh, where are we? 11 minutes into this live, but this is like the 4th live. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Let's see here. All right. Blow this some more. I really don't want any sound. No problems. Usually I put a little fan on the microwave over there for my son, because he's like usually napping around this time when I'm like filming or try to get a quick episode in. So I'm gonna do that right now before I just kill my battery. Sorry, guys. Start this. Make sure I'm framed here. See, I kind of moved a little in a way, so I'm just trying to adjust myself here. Everything kind of adjusted, so just adjusting with it, but it's still in the frame of the green screen. I'm perfectly framed here. It already did that thing again with the stop automatically or whatever, but I'm waiting on the microphone. Here we go. All right, sweet. So now we can do this. All right, great. Now we're recording. Okay, so with now on to perspective, lighting, and angles. So perspective, lighting, and angles, that matters because everything is like in layers. So if you think of threes, mid-ground, so there's, I don't know why they start mid-ground, foreground, and then background. You know what I'm saying? It's usually, foreground, mid-ground, and then background. But I see how they break it up. So let's say I'm in the foreground. Actually, this microphone is in the foreground. I'm in the mid-ground, and then behind me would be the background. But my little green screen here and what I put behind it is like a whole studio. So, so basically, if you want to break it down, on the foreground, the midground will be the camera equipment, and then the background is it's like this wall, this this white green screen wall kind of thing. So basically the whole set behind it. So that would be how you should basically look at breaking down these miniature shots. So you got to break it down in your head in that way. So when you're doing these elaborate shots for whatever story you're doing, you have to think in these layers on how you can pull this off. So hopefully that helps. I'll have links below on some hobby shops that I found in the area of Los Angeles, and michaels.com. So you can check that out because they have more stuff. Just that right now it's November, so you see a lot of Christmas stuff. Just really look in there. They have more than what you think. And if not, go into the stores. Go into all these stores everywhere. Online doesn't have everything. So you might want to check out these stores. You'll find like random little trinkets and things like that that would be end up being marked up online anyways. So now moving on, we're going to lavalier mics and their placements. So you see here what I love about King Kong, the special features, and this is just like this $199 2-disc thing that they had that I think they were selling before, like when the movie came out, I think, or before it came out on DVD or something like that. They have different versions. They have 2-disc. Obviously, they have the 1-disc version, which is just the movie. Then they have the 2-disc version, which is the movie, which I had at one point. It was the movie, and it's like black around, and then it had a little photo of King Kong in the middle, something like that. And you can search for that. And behind the scenes, and it had like little trinkets of things there. Shut off this one. And that DVD had a little like behind the scenes and stuff like that. So then they did these, right? And they came with some more little like stuff, pictures and things like that. And then they came out with like an extended cut, which has like 3 discs, which I have as well. So as you can see here, right? Deluxe extended edition. So it does go into a little bit more depth on these things, so you can check that out. All right, so on the lavalier mics, this was a nice little tidbit because all these videos were online at first before they came on here. So what you're seeing here, it's out of focus. Sorry. What you're seeing here is basically stuff that was a web series that they were doing to promote the film before the movie was even released. So it was kind of cool with the placement. So you could place it basic. So now with the microphones, you can place them anywhere. So right here, there's like a little diamond right over here where the throat is, right in there. Right. If you put a little lavalier mic and put some tape wrapping around it, if you put right over here, it's like a little diamond, like a V-neck, right? They say V-neck because this is where you see this part, little V part of your bones. But you could place it probably right there and just cover it up with one of these kind of collars and things like that, and just put a tape right over it so there's no friction with the clothing. So if you're doing action scenes and stuff like that, this is going to be a little bit tougher. So you don't want to put it on anything that's going to move. So you might want to put it in like maybe a part of their skin. So some place like that's good. So if they're running with a tie or something like that, you could put it in the tie, You see it in the DVD special features that can come here. You see that they placed it in random places like collar and inside the tie. You could even do it behind the tie. So if you flip around the flap, you can have it there. But that thing flaps around, so you don't want to have that kind of thing going on. So it all depends on where you place it. With that being said, you want to also have other microphones on set as well. So you have different material to work with. So when you're in post, it doesn't screw you up. So especially if you miss like a line of dialogue or something, piece of information, something that, is tough for me when I was doing the first feature film. I only had this, and then I had lavalier mics, but I had no experience with it. And a good lavalier mic, it has to have like basically like very good signal from the the microphone receiver to what it's sending it to the other receiver that's connected to the Zoom mic recorder, or your little mixer or whatever it is that you're doing. Or your little mixer or whatever it is that you're using. So between those two, between the boom mic, which you're gonna get the cleanest sound, and then your lavalier mic, you'll be able to mix between both of them and be able to do something with it. Lavalier mics are omnidirectional, so it's like point, whatever, and they're gonna pick up everything. So it's very easy for it to get really loud when it comes to wherever you're placing it. So you want to put a tape right over it, like right over the microphone part of it. When you put the tape on skin, you don't want to have this part, the foam for it. That's to cut out air and stuff like that. You want that with like interviews, so it attaches to the shirt, and you're able to put it there. Anything like that. Mainly for interviews or outside stuff. But always there's many places you can kind of tuck it away. You did it again. There's many places you can tuck away the little lavalier mics and hide them. So you can even hide them in like, see, the battery's dead. Oh. The battery, the 99-cent store AA's are kind of lasting more. They're lasting a little longer. So I got as far as lavalier mics and where to place them and how to get the best sound. You see, and I talk really fast, and this is why when I edit them, I chop them up and I place them right behind certain information that is better said, I would say, by guys that been doing it for for almost a decade or so, or but have like big projects under their belt. Me in comparison to someone that hasn't done it at all. I have projects on my belt and experience on my belt to get a project done, which is something that, they have under their belts in a bigger scale, like huge scale. Look at this. This is great. You're here on the live right now. This is why I watch this stuff. It's so random. Okay, so we're here right now watching this in Transformers, and you see here with all the real, this is the real street that they shot. The real highway that they shot, that whole highway scene in the first movie, but they have a little mock-up version with toys on the floor. So I don't know. I don't know why I like that kind of stuff. I have a kid now. He's 2. He's definitely getting into the toys a little bit more, just toys in general. which is something I'm into a lot. I'm a nerd in that way. I love toys and stuff like that. So this is great for me. With the Monsters director, Gareth Edwards did something like this, but he did it in his. I was gonna include it, I think, in the first. Did I include it in the first? I think I did. Yeah, I believe I included in the first episode of DVD film discussion. So, he did a little green screen thing with this airplane kind of being flipped around by a creature underwater. So he does CG effects though, so he can create water and do all of that and deal with that and stuff like that. I've watched documentaries on Pixar and they've talked about how hard it is to do water for Finding Nemo and make it look real, as well as hair for Monsters Inc. in the first one. So that was something that they had a challenge with, and I guess everybody, has to go through that challenge, because when you're creating original work of art, like when original characters or something like that, when they have hair or anything like that, and you're trying to make it look real, you can't just go and plug it in and just get a little clip and just right there with a chroma key thing behind it and just oh, that's what you need. It doesn't work that way. So all these things that I'm telling you guys about is things that you can do on Premiere Pro alone, because that's all I have right now. There's things I know we can do better with After Effects that we can do also on Premiere Pro, but it just takes more time and patience and things like that, which is something I did on a new music video actually that I did for a friend that it's pretty much done now. Need him to check it out and then give a pass on it, and then but right now I'm showing it to some industry friends and see what that turns into. So now we're on a charger mission. Charging the battery mission. But this is cool. Here, this is one of the things I'm probably going to end up talking about. In here, I'm trying to transition more into the actual movement of cameras when it comes to transformers. So talking about the layers, but then it's being able to move with them and stuff like that. So certain things like that, frame rates and stuff that you might want to look at. You gotta be careful with all that. You gotta keep the frame rates the same, so they are all consistent. We write that down. Frame rates the same, so they match. From fake to real. But what I love about Michael Bay is how he does everything for real, as far as action and everything like that. Especially now when everything's all CG and you see Avengers and all that stuff. I don't think I'm ever gonna talk about that here. I'm a fan. I didn't even get through. I didn't get to finish Avengers: Infinity War. Hopefully, I didn't kill it for you guys, whoever ends up seeing this episode here. But yeah, just doesn't do it for me, guys. Sorry. This does it for me. The Go America Michael Bay movies, I guess. They're just done better than those Avengers movies. They look ugly the way they do them and the way they're shot. They're not as dynamic in the shots and angles and everything like that. You see here, I'm doing this live, and the reason why I'm doing like this, look, you're still seeing a triangle. Look at where I'm at, right in the center. this is the center of the room, what it looks like in the frame, you know, so it's dynamic and it looks like it keeps going. That's the point. Even though it's just a white wall there, but there's a lot going on with this, the TV screen, and I'm moving around and trying to keep things going, charging my batteries down, and all this stuff for my camera. Just want to get started to finish this. Jeez. Just need to get another battery. This is what I've been dealing with lately. When you're a new father, it's like right now I'm just like been really concentrating more on trying to be a good dad and just, you know, instill whatever knowledge I know towards, you know, what he needs to know. You get what I'm saying? So like right now he's like stacking blocks and learning 1, 2, 3s and the ABCs. And then we're doing a lot of sing-alongs and stuff like that. I'm trying to get him to talk. He's like so close. He's already right now. So it's kind of interesting. I know you guys have seen a couple of it already. And over time, if you look at some of the episodes, you'll see, if you see him randomly, there's an episode before this. I believe a couple episodes before this. No, actually the 99 cents one, right? A couple episodes before this one, because I've done some live ones where now I think this is the 4th one. We're 30 minutes in. I'm not gonna cut this one. I'm just gonna let it keep going until I get it done. All right, guys. So this is the long one. This is the last one. So yeah, he's there and he says hello. He's like, hi. It's like, what? Dude, I didn't even cut that camera. Like, I didn't even have to cut that. Like, I turned it right back on me. I finished it out, and it was the same shot, same take, one take. That's the thing. That's the thing I loved about doing. And that's what I love about doing this stuff and doing live and things like that. Because whatever I film, like whatever I do, usually is kind of live. It's usually that first take, you know. And being able to have those instincts is good, especially when you get into the big stuff, because like those are some big planes, and you gotta coordinate with so many people to get that going, to get that right shot, and then like just to coordinate people to get the flybys that they need, those planes to go right over their heads, but to get that shot, then you know, and then what if you don't get that shot? Now you gotta get them to do it again a couple times. You better have told them before that you're going to do it like 2 or 3 times. Find out how many times you can do it. And then after that first time, if you screw up, like get it that second time. Because it's pretty much all you're going to have, or that third, especially micro budget filmmaking. So, and then big dogs, they got to do it too. They definitely have to do that. Shutting off the coffee maker. It's clicking back there. Oh, yeah. All right. Come on. Come on, battery. Stay warm. Some good coffee. Let's see here. Okay, since for now still live, I want to show you guys the Instagram page for Greenlight. Please check that out, guys. I just got a couple likes right now. Cool, 2 likes on the video actually announcing these live videos. So thank you to, you could read them there. I can't really read those. Even backwards, they even like look job production. JOB_productions, and then Juma World 67 liked that post. So this is that post talking about how I'm going to be live. Okay. So thank you guys. I appreciate that. Seriously, let me see how many views it got. It's got 6 views. Oh, hey, babe. My wife is texting me. Cool. Please send the link so I can check it out. Awesome. So my wife and I are looking to move out of this apartment. She's showing me one. Ooh, this is nice. I love it. More of a dream looking place. Nice. Babe, I love it. Let's make this the first place we check out. Well, it looks better than this place for sure. Kind of bland, kind of architecture in a way, but it's basic. You know, it's an apartment, dude. But this apartment, this looks nice. Looks good. At least you guys would probably be more entertained, you know, in live situations, much like this one, in a nicer apartment. I'm guessing. I don't know, but it is 2 bedrooms, and we needed it for my son. He's getting older. He's 2 now, and he needs his own room. That's cool. You see, they deal with the level of reality, even though like they gotta build all that stuff themselves. This is one of the things that I really want to promote. Is like building these things, getting people to build unique things. Like the guy from Saw, James Wan, he built the puppet and the bicycle. That's riding in the bicycle. He also built the reverse bear trap, you know, kind of thing. So he built that himself. That's weird, but that's just. I guess he got a bear trap and he just like found a way to like reverse engineer it and then make it for the head. But that's what. Apartment and yeah, I still got like nobody on here. That's cool. It works out well. Looking at this. Oh God, please. Oh, breezing. Look at the 2. Awesome. Good. A lot of natural light. Wow. I gotta tell her about this apartment. I actually delivered here before. DoorDash. I really like it a lot. Hey babe, I used to deliver at this apartment a lot. It's in West Hollywood. Right behind the building. And it has its own gated section with a couple buildings just like that. Now to the interior of the apartment and how much I love it. This is something we can do. We always had in the back of our minds as a great looking apartment. Period. So with that being said, I think we should double down on this one. I will allow. We're just here texting back and forth. Sorry, guys. It's already closing on to almost 40 minutes. So, still charging over there. And I haven't even gotten past the whole lavalier microphones. I'm wondering if I will be able to. Look, it's about to be 4 already. I'm probably just going to close it out and only do one episode. So this is behind the scenes of one episode. I was trying to do a couple, but this battery thing really is like straining me. And because I ramble a lot, I end up doing a lot of takes, but I'm also like an editor. I love taking my time and getting a lot of shots. Like I'd rather there be like way more shots than needed of a bunch of things, different angles of the same action or something like that. What have you, So hopefully in this batch filming and editing, you get kind of an idea of where I'm going with when it comes to this channel, when it comes to filmmaking in general, and being creative, making sure that you see that side of things, that you understand, perspective of, layers and layering things together and framing, because mid-ground, foreground, your foreground, mid-ground, background is very, very important, and especially when you want to get into the special effects game and everything like that. So, sound is key. Everything is important. That's the issue. Every department is so important. Okay? If you're doing a drama film, short film, or feature film as your first project, that'll probably be easier because you're just concentrating just on dialogue. I would stick to stuff like that, unless if you're into comedy too. Try not to do too much physical comedy, because it all depends. I mean, if you're recording with a lavalier mic, make sure you have a boom mic there too. Okay? Make sure you have both. Like I said, you can also put your field mic recorder right up on the top. And then you have that, between that and the lavalier mic, you won't be able to, you won't have a bad sound whatsoever, So. Where did I put that pen? We gotta do what we gotta do to get this place done. I love you so much and can't wait to check it out. All right. So I'm gonna try it. Give it a shot. Get this one episode done. Maybe I can sneak in an episode, you know? Let's hope. Okay, cool. Framed and everything. This is loading in here with the zoom mic. Come on. Let's push forward here. This going. Picture. Sound speed. All right. So onto lavalier mics and where you should place them. So when you're placing lavalier mics, you want to make sure there's not a lot of friction when there's like action scenes or anything like that. There's always going to be some type of sound. So when you have multiple microphones at a location recording, and when I mean multiple microphones, I don't mean multiple lavalier mics. I mean, you should have all the actors mic'd up with lavalier mics, but you want to have one or two, maybe three. I mean, it depends on how big your production is and what your action scene or dialogue scene consists of. Because if you have a dialogue scene with 4 or more people, I think if everybody has a lavalier mic, and maybe you have 2 boom mic operators in there, you want to get a boom mic in there as much as possible. That's going to be the cleanest sound. So whenever you're missing something and it catches it on the lavalier mic and it sounds, decent enough, it sounds really good in comparison to the boom mic, then that's when you want to go with the lavalier mic. But the lavalier mics are to get the dialogue when there are times where like the actor moves around and the boom mic misses it completely, because the boom mic is always hovering overhead, like they're always hovering. So when the boom mic hovers right overhead of us, it's constantly moving, and in between that you hear the in the microphone, because the boom mics are really awesome too, like that. They pick up a lot of sound, so you want to be really good in the way you hold the boom mics very steady and have a good grip on them, and stretch it out. And have a good grip on them where you're not bouncing around and it's rattling and all this stuff. So everything needs to be tight. So, and that's, similar situations with the lavalier mic, and that's why with the rubbing, and that's why you need tape. So you can do double-sided tape if you want to do it to attach it there, but you want to have a tape over the microphone, covering the microphone. You understand? When it's placed on the skin. Because when it's placed on the skin, there's always a shirt or something over it, and it's gonna rub, and it's just gonna sound all over the place. So you don't want that, which is why you do the boom mic to, save you situations such as that when you're doing an action scene. When you're doing a dialogue scene, two people talking, something like this where it's just an interview type of situation, you're pretty much good at placing it. Like, you can do it, you can put it in their jacket and things like that. But you always want to it's omnidirectional, so you want to point it, at the actor's mouth. Always, always, always. Like wherever. You understand? Cut off again. Kind of frustrating. All right. So all that is great. Okay, so this is kind of the outro because we're pretty much done. I've said everything I feel like I need to say really with this and different placements and maybe what you can do. There's, I should say the different types of tape. So there's medical tape that you can use on the skin to wrap it around the microphone, right? And then there's duct tape, and you could kind of fold them up into like a triangle type of thing and wrap them around, right? You can have it for both sides, so it could stick on the skin, and then you put that wherever. So it could work anywhere. You could put that inside a tie or whatever you want to do, depending on what the character is wearing. So, what else? So yeah, it's just basically the tape. It just depends on the tape. You want a kind of okay. So I'm just going to skip that, and I'm just going to move on to my outro. All right, now on to the outro. Thank you guys for joining us here on DVD Film. Thank you guys for joining us on DVD Film Discussion. I hope you really enjoyed the information here on King Kong. I really love this movie a lot. I'm not saying anything about the new one and stuff like that and giving my critique or whatever, but I enjoyed this and the way this was made. I went to theaters watching this 3-hour movie, and there's even like almost a 30-minute or almost 4-hour version in this extended cut. So, check out these versions. I'll have a link to this one as well as this one down below so you guys can see all the extra features, the ones I didn't cover on here, which I could end up covering at one point later down the line. There's something I feel like that needs to be covered on a different episode on DVD Film Discussion. So with that being said, thank you guys. Please comment down below with, if you see, did it again. Please comment down below if you guys have any questions on lavalier mic placements or about miniatures and perspective. So, if you want to talk more about that, I'm down, and we could figure it out. And, I love like case studies. These are like little case studies. So we can talk about it and really flesh this out and make this more of a thing that, every filmmaker can do, and it can be normal, and they can expand their minds and really get their dreams up on the screen. So that being said, have a great day, guys, and I'll be seeing you soon. And then cut. All right, cool. Sweet. So now what I'm going to do is shut off the camera, put this to charge yet again. 4 o'clock. I'm gonna look for a schedule for DoorDash right now. It's 4:08. Yep. So I'm gonna look for a schedule while I charge. And I'm gonna try and do another episode. I'm gonna change the shirt. I'm gonna try and do another episode right now. So I know I've worn this shirt, I think, including the TCM shirt a couple times on these Greenlight episodes. But I'm not really like fashion forward and all this stuff, so I don't really have like a lot of clothes. But I don't know. I look good in whatever I wear. The clothes don't wear me. I wear the clothes. So confidence is very much key when you're doing this. When I first started doing this stuff, it was tough trying to get all the information out because it just felt like I was talking to nobody. Quote unquote. I'm still kind of doing that right now, but I've gotten better at it. I've gotten better at explaining myself, and with that being said, every time I bump into somebody out here in Los Angeles and I got to explain myself and filmmaking and what I do, and because it is somewhat of a part-time, it's like somewhat not going to be part-time later on. My wife's kind of pushing me to make it more of like a full-time thing and really concentrate on it. I'm talking to somebody right now helping me through that now. So, these type of things, like could help you, because when you're a director, you need to know a little bit about everything. You need to be able to explain yourself and explain the scenes that you're going to do and how they feel. And you got to go really in depth and all this stuff so that the people that are giving you money can give you the money to make the movie keep going. Because it's not like, you're going to be using all your money all the time. At one point, I plan on not doing micro budget movies anymore. I'm starting it like this because now that I'm on my second feature and everything like that, I guess I feel confident enough that I have good enough information for you guys. So we're still charging. I finished that episode, which is great. Let's see. It's still full battery with this. This is a 99-cent store AA batteries that I'm using on it, but I keep turning it off. I'm not using it in a big shoot, quote unquote, and because the battery keeps running out here, I have more time to shut this off and save that. So, but either way, it's still fairly good. Like you get a Duracell battery or some major brand or whatever, it's still, the zoom mic is just going to suck that up. So just know that right off the bat, it's going to suck it all up anyways. So you just need a lot of them. So, if you get the dollar store ones, that was like a big pack of like 40 or something, 30 or something like that. Something like that. It was a lot. It was like over 20 of them. So, and for $1, and then you get a bunch of those, you get like 10 of them. You just be switching out batteries all the time, which is not always a great thing. So you might want to test it out. It all depends on your production. You want to spend money where it's needed, like the most money where it's truly needed. So something like the equipment, like if you're renting, those lavalier mics, you might want to look into like more of a, like the ones that use radio waves. I think they get, better signal and stuff like that. So you just want to make sure the signal is perfect, that's something, let's see, that's something that, is major in that as well. Right. I think I'm going to add something real quick to the King Kong one here. What's something kind of cool about this about these King Kong featurettes is that they Peter Jackson and his team they did the same thing with the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbits. So I have all the let's scrap one here. All right, these are kind of stacked up on top of each other over there. So I guess I'm bringing two of them. If you see these are super cool. Okay, and an amoeba, like I bought these. I know this was like under $5, and so was this one. But the first one, I have the first one as well. It's in there somewhere. It's in boxes or something. But I have the first one as well. And the first one, I bought it at GameStop when they were selling. Sorry, when they were selling DVDs at GameStop. And they stopped doing that. They had a movie stock at one point or something. I heard about that, and I went looking for them in Miami when I was out there making the first feature. Couldn't find them anywhere. Found a different type of place. But we have Amoeba out here, and Amoeba Music. They have used DVDs and stuff like that. They had a bunch of these. Like people don't want to buy them, I guess, because they've seen the movies to death. And who's going to buy these things unless you're interested in how they were made or something? You're a nerd like myself. So these are used in the as is section. They have light scratches, very light kind of scratches. So I put up one of these. They're just like, it's huge, dude. Like these things are huge. So I love it, and they really go in depth, from pre-production to the actual premiere of these movies. So some of them are slightly a little bit more different. I think some of them have the premiere and some of them don't, or something like that. But they're a little different. Different troubles and different trials and tribulations, I would say, in each production in general. So within the Lord of the Rings, each one has its own problem, including because I have the Blu-ray versions of these, but it's not Lord of the Rings, it's Hobbit, but they're all Blu-rays. The Hobbits are Blu-rays. I can't really record Blu-rays on those yet, so I'm looking into that. So I will be eventually covering a lot of these, like these DVD film discussions will eventually get into more or less like Blu-ray featurette film discussions, but they're still going to be called DVDs. And a lot of these DVDs too, some of them, like the Alien one, when I covered it, they have a Blu-ray version of the same thing. They just copied it over and it's on Blu-ray. A couple of them are like that. So like THX and stuff like that I did in episode 4. So I include them on the description below. I also include, so you understand, at the end of every video, or most of every video, unless I did a live like this, which I did twice before, and then many times on this subject with the batch filming and editing. So yeah, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, they all have at the end of it like new DVDs of that week that they came out. So when these videos are done, like King Kong and stuff, like this week, so we'll find out about this week's new releases on DVD and Blu-ray. Even in streaming, I even have streaming links in there too. So they're all linked, so you can buy them straight through, through me. So you don't have to go too far if you already saw them and you're like, ooh, I like that movie, and I've been meaning to get it. So you can add it to your cart or whatever and do that. So because you're probably already on Amazon and stuff like that. So hold on one second. I'll be right back. Put these away. All right. So I'm gonna get something in real quick because I found this schedule. They're giving $3 extra today. Giving $3 extra in the area. Let's see. See, I talk a lot, like really fast, and I say so much information in these little videos that sometimes I come back and I say the same thing again or in a different way, just so that if I think of it, just in case there's a certain part of that information that wasn't explained, or I didn't explain it or anything like that. So now I'm talking about the radio waves stuff. I was thinking I don't feel like I covered it too well. Oh, I kind of did, but just in case, just get it in there. Again, thinking like an editor. I think if you start like an editor, if you start as an editor, oh shit, look, it did the movie recording stopped automatically stuff again. It always does it in the beginning, so when you first record on a Canon camera, that happens in the beginning with these like DSLR ones. I don't know how it is with the new Mark versions of the the new 5Ds and stuff like that. That's my mom calling right now. Hi, Mom. Hello?
Hello, how are you?
Hey, good, good. Can I call you back real
Just
quick?
wanted to ask you one thing.
Yeah. Yes, she starts working on Monday again. Yes. Yeah, she already started. Yeah. No, still you can do it because it's more official on Monday. Okay. No. Hey, can I call you back soon? Okay, I'm doing something. Okay. All right. Quiero mucho. Bye. Let's see. I gotta get this out. So I don't know how the 5Ds are and all this stuff, but I've been thinking about the GH5 a lot, and then everyone keeps trying to sell me over to Sony for some reason. I'm not a Sony fan, and too much. Just the way they do their company, maybe. Sony's cool too. They're really good at what they do. I just don't like the camera too much. Cameras are picky when it comes to Mac. They used to be, at least. Hello, guys. So, it did it again. So, I'm trying to add a little tidbit here. So, with the lavalier mics, depending on the kind of lavalier mic you get, I think there's some that are like radio waves, and they use radio waves, and it's kind of expensive. Very strong signal, though. That's the thing. That's what you want out of a lavalier mic setup. Is that the receivers have great antennas or something like that. It's you just want to make sure that the signal is strong and they're as close as possible together, if anything, if they're cheap. That was my issue with mine when it came to Creed. I was testing it out. I just couldn't get the whole how far I need to be with the mic, and it just bothered me. And the idea of it was so much better than the actual, like actually pulling it off, because I wanted to be on one side of the street and have my actor on the other side with the mic, but it just doesn't sound good at all. It didn't work out. So I scratched that idea and I didn't even go with it because I was afraid, because I'm the type of person that, with my experience in producing and, making videos and stuff like that, especially editing, is that I needed, I wrote that script and then I just went in and got it done like a producer and didn't focus so much on like those details, because it was the first one and it was just the matter of having it done, not having a product, but having a film that I have made, because I want to be a director. Having a film that I have made, and because I want to be a director, I need to show that. So, hopefully you guys could do the same and get your film done, with some of these tips that I'm giving you here, as well as all of the other YouTube channels, as well as many filmmakers in our community here on YouTube. Okay, so I think I'm good there. Well done there. Still somewhat good there. Let's see. All right, just do a quick change out. All right, Transformers. Hello, guys, and welcome to Greenlight. Hey, welcome to Greenlight. Today we're talking about Transformers and woo! I get my stuff for Transformers here. So let me see here. Okay. Hey, welcome to Greenlight. My name is Jovanni Santos, and if you haven't done it yet, if you haven't subscribed here yet, please click on the links below with off center. Hey, welcome to Greenlight. My name is Jovanni Santos, and if you haven't subscribed here yet, please check the link below and don't forget to click. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider to do so. And don't forget to click on the notification bell as well. So today on DVD Film Discussion, we're talking about Transformers and Transformers cheating shots and planning your action scenes. Today on DVD Film Discussion, we're talking about Transformers, cheating shots, and planning action scenes. Okay, so I'm going to move on because there's not enough time, so that's good. So the first thing that I kind of want to say here about Michael Bay is that, you know, as much as everybody's trying to figure out still whether or not he's an I guess because, you know, everybody's still, you know, there's so many to talk about here. First is that about Michael Bay, and that it seems like everybody's still trying to figure out, you know, whether or not he's an auteur, you know, which is irrelevant now. The guy's a commercial man, and yeah, he's kind of like an auteur on his own, especially nowadays. I mean, there's directors like Chris Moore. Recently, most notably, did an action movie. It was Die Hard 5. I can't remember what it was called. I Like to Live for You, Die Hard, which was Part 4. But this was, A Good Day to Die Hard. So A Good Day to Die Hard was actually well done, but Chris Moore is not going to have the type of angles and shots that here we go. The angles and shots that Michael Bay will have. He's the kind of filmmaker that doesn't, he's all about offsetting the camera and making sure it has an interesting angle to look at the action from. So with that being said, it's always on what the camera sees, and he understands that. That is the major point I'm trying to make here, is that he understands that. And with this scene alone, this is just a talking scene with Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox surrounding. They're in the car, in Bumblebee car, and the car is static. The camera isn't though. It's on a dolly and it's constantly swaying and moving and looking at them and jerking a little, and getting some light leaks in there. You have a real light leaks on set. Okay, see, I gotta keep doing this a lot. Real light leaks on set. They really did that. So, and they had a blank background. They did this again in Transformers Part.2, which they kind of show you. They have it's at night, so they have, it's just a black background, it's just a black sky. They don't light for that. Camera shades, little light leaks here and there, but they're orange. Whoa, the battery died. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna have to charge it again. So this is what I'm gonna wear tonight. So I'm gonna charge this. Time is it? It just started 4:30. So I'm gonna try to get an order. I'm gonna finish this before I get an order. I have to clock in now. So I'm clocked in. It's gonna be a big loud bell in here, so just be careful, guys. I'm charging camera right now. See, when you have like time constraints and stuff like that, I'm usually good with this kind of stuff. So, ooh, cool. So, won't take me that long. So what I was saying was that I'm usually good. Well, not usually. I'm probably still good at it right now. I have to be at least be good at time constraints and getting a lot done within the amount of time that I do have. Since I'm like basically a stay-at-home dad, I take care of my son and like we do things like go to the library now and stuff like that. We got this. He loves this. When they read the books to him and we go to reading time there and things like that. So in the park and all that or whatever. But in between all that time and I'm feeding him and changing his diapers, doing research and I'm learning more and trying to keep my knowledge up in the film industry. But really it's like, it's easy. It's a lot of fun for me to do that. And I'm always going with my instincts on what I want to learn. So like, we were talking about miniatures and stuff like that. Probably will still end up talking about it again in different ways. I might mention it here on Transformers because they didn't do that exactly, but the whole use of the green screen thing gives you an idea of what that could be like, and the flat lighting in the background. I was talking about how there was a part there where there were two characters talking, and then it just had a white background. Well, that's almost easy to like click out, you know, like a green screen type of thing. If you only like play with it a little bit, like if you have Adobe Premiere and you look into the effects section and you type in ultra key, and then it'll pop up in the effects tab of basically I didn't do it right. So basically when it pops up in the effects tab there, it'll show you can grab it, drag and drop it onto your clip, and then open the clip again in the edit window, which is in the left. And then from there you can go into the effects section and then find the little droplet, and then you click on basically on the green, right? So when you click on the green, instead of the green, you're gonna click on that whole white. There's nothing, there's like no information there, or black, where there's no information. But the thing is that it's gonna take all the black out if you have shadows and things like that. So the white is probably easier, But then that also kind of, you just got to play with it. You got to play with it a lot between the matte cleanup and all that stuff. So, and then you can do some weird things because I'm not going to say right now which shots yet because I'll do that probably on an episode. But in the music video, I did do that a lot. And it was kind of interesting because it worked very well. I'm going to leave this in the tray. I'm going to get this battery. Let's see if I knock this out real fast. All right, cool. All right, so basically they have, I wouldn't say it's natural light leaks. It's light leaks that they added there on set. It's a light that's either on the right or left side of the camera lens, pointing at it and smacking the light onto the lens, which is something that J.J. Abrams does a lot, and he does those lens flares and stuff like that a lot. You can get them online on YouTube and find a bunch of them. So if you don't know how to make one or didn't make one and you need one right away, you can use that and then key it to whatever it is you need, car passing by or something, lights, stuff like that. So with this being said, with the bland background like that with the white, they also did it with the black one in Transformers Part.2, but they had a line like a little farther away so it can blur out of like lights, and it was orange because it was nighttime. So like the street lights with little orange and stuff like that. Even though they're changing now, everything is LED and all that stuff with the street lights. I think it depends on the movie and what they have there. But if you're doing this artificially, it depends on 1 year, because by the time another 10 years from now, it may not look that way. It would be all like lit up with LED lights and stuff. So, but the orange works right now, and you can do that. And if not, you do it the other way. But orange little lights, like Christmas lights, really far away in the background, in the distance, like you have it way in the background blurred out, and you're moving that camera, and it's always moving, and you get in front of, you can have it behind the car, you can have it on the side, or wherever it is the camera is seeing, and it just behind that should just be total black. You just know, like, to look at Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen, you'll see all these little things that I'm talking about. These little details give that feeling. Between that and sound, your illusion is sold. So that's one way of cheating a shot, and Michael Bay does this a lot, including with Victoria's Secret commercials and stuff like that. So moving on is planning. So another thing is when you're doing action, this is a major thing here, is you want to plan everything when you're doing action scenes, including a running scene, and you're going to have to plan it anyways, even if it's a run and gun micro budget shoot. If you're doing like a quick chase scene down an alleyway, yeah, you're gonna have to plan it there. You're gonna have to know that in the back of your mind, you're gonna have to plan at least an hour or two before the actual shooting of just straight planning the shot and working it out. So meaning you're just going to do it over and over and over again for about an hour or two until you basically get it. But you just do it over and over again, maybe not that one shot, just do different angles. If anything, if you're doing run and gun, you have no choice. You don't have much time in this location or whatever, what have you. This is the type of thing where, it could really like save you at the end of the day, pre-planning it. Show up to your locations days before and walk through it, think about it, really visualize it. If you're a filmmaker, if you're a visual storyteller, because I say if on that, because people are like, could be more Quentin Tarantino oriented with dialogue. They can write characters like myself very well. but I can't do that. I can sit here and jibber jabber very easily, especially now, and quote unquote talking to myself, in comparison to actually writing it out, which is something I've been, messing with a lot. So I've been messing with that with my writing. I'm always trying to experiment and go, a step further with my filmmaking, and always challenge myself and get better at parts that I'm not good at. So that's more of the way I'm doing things, I guess. When it comes to art, you kind of just got to go off feeling off the cuff, because if you go towards a route that somebody else says or how I say it, it's not going to be for you, So these are just things, these are ideas that I'm giving you to get them in your head so you're able to think about your projects in a different way, think about them in a different light, seeing, how the big dogs do it and people that inspire me, or, obviously if they inspire you as well because you're watching them, then, you'll see that because they inspire you, it's something that, could fuel you. It's something that, with the inspiration, it'll, in the back of your mind, keep you pushing toward it. It'll stick there. That's what I'm trying to get at. It'll stick there in the back of your mind somewhere because of the inspiration that you got from the filmmaker that you respect. Either from me or from these guys, which is why I'm doing it, because I have that feeling towards them. I love Michael Bay growing up. He was an easy filmmaker to get into real quick because of the way it was shot and stuff like that. Between him, Martin Scorsese, and P.T. Anderson and David Fincher, angles is a big thing for me, like different, just visually. So, oh well, that's it. I won't be able to do, I guess, an outro exactly. So, let's see. Okay, cool. So I hope you guys really enjoyed. I hope you guys really enjoyed this episode of DVD film discussion about. Since this is being about Transformers, it's kind of quick. Not sure if this is going by kind of fast this episode, but I hope the information serves you well. And please don't forget to subscribe and hit. Just tell me in the comments below any Michael Bay movies you like or want to explore a little bit more. One of my favorites is The Rock. So thank you guys, and I hope to see you soon. My other favorites are Bad Boys 1, Bad Boys 2, and I got that in. So cool. Now I could edit that together and all this stuff. So I'm gonna have to do an outro here on live as well. I think I busted through the Transformers pretty quickly. So I did 2 episodes today, which was great. Okay, I'm gonna go pick up my order now that I just got. All right. I'm gonna put this away just in case my wife and son do come back tonight. It's not here anyway, because it's the only thing I have. My green screen. So put that there. I have it connected to the camera so that it can record straight into the camera and I don't have to sync it up and all this stuff and do all of that. But I still press the record button on it. So I'm recording it on here too. So just in case it didn't come out good or whatever. So you just, you have backups and backups and backups and backups. You just have to back it up and back yourself up. you know? So like with pre-planning, like I was saying, you back yourself up, planning it before, that's backing you have your own back here, right there, with that. With your own, you know, looking out for yourself, you're gonna be able to get everything you need just because you pre-planned it. So it was like some last minute information that I had to fill in for the Transformer thing. So that worked out because I was doing the King Kong stuff. So that worked out great. So I'm about to go now. I'm gonna put my socks. And I gotta say goodbye to you guys. So I'm putting on my socks like I'm doing a little Reading Rainbow or whatever. It's not Reading Rainbow. It's forgot his name, but the neighborhood guy. So thank you guys for joining me on Greenlight here. It's an hour and 30 minutes in, so this is kind of a long thing. So we'll see if you guys enjoy this as well and find any little information that you like in this. All the stuff that I said there, some things may or may not make it into the cut, so we'll see what you guys end up seeing. There will be things that you haven't seen, obviously, in this, and it's going to be the little things that I cut in from the behind the scenes stuff, which you may have seen it throughout these videos and stuff like that, playing in the background, may or may not have, but you won't know right now until those episodes are out. So now that I have 2 episodes in the can, there is a third that I want to do, and I'll just announce it here. It's going to be more of like a filmmaking 101 to Project Greenlight, right? Kind of where I got the name Greenlight. I love Project Greenlight. Love their stuff. This is the first season that I'm going to talk about, but this is a great DVD set because they go really in depth in here. In the second season and third season, kind of they get less in depth, I think. There's things with that, and I'm thinking it's because their movies didn't sell well or something. We'll talk about that in this episode. All right. So thank you guys, and I hope you guys have a great day, great Sunday. Bye.